Hello, everybody. Welcome to your daily pop of positivity. It is such a cool, mellow, meditative morning. I love this. Usually, after a very heavy snow or heavy winds or some kind of seismic weather activity, I find after it, I feel very calm. It's like the earth and everything settles. And I was just looking up all these beautiful sayings this morning, and I thought this deck went so beautifully with it. Moonstone, ebb and flow, activate the void, azurite, and envision the future, precious opal. So let's start with that. I definitely felt like, what do I envision for, let's say, tomorrow? A beautiful 31st, the end of January, the day before a wonderful new moon, Aquarian magic full moon, all this great energy coming up. It really reminds me that we have the capacity of being compassionate and understanding for ourselves and others, and we have the seeds of forgiveness and joy and peace. And it's so liberating that all we have to do is trust it and allow it to have a chance to operate and bring in the future and envision the future that we want. Because one of my mainstays that I'm always hoping for when I'm trying to manifest is a stable, calm, grounded attitude and feeling secure and motivated and curious about the future and loving and all of that. So really try to envision your future, whether it is an hour from now, a day from now, a month from now, that you are succeeding, that you are thriving, that you are feeling good about where you are, who you are, and how you are perceiving the world, balanced and really chill. Now, I love this activate the void, because inside of us, I always feel like there's let's just say our inside is like a compilation, a book. And as we're reading through that, we're going to see certain pages that we're like, I really love that about my daily, weekly activities, engagement. I love this. I want to keep this. And then there are other pages that we'll read. We're like, why are we filling our time with this? Does this enhance my life? Bring me vitality? Get me excited? Or is it just something I go to for comfort? I saw this person that got presented to me on my IG, and it was just a TikTok video, and it was talking about trauma and how a lot of people are addicted to their trauma because it's a comfort zone, it's familiar, it's something they understand, and they also use it for like a refuge. So that could be anything, using it as an excuse as to why we're not doing things that are good for us, why we aren't going out and meeting people and looking for opportunities and exercising and doing what's good for us. We just revert back to that trauma, and it kind of pulls the covers over our heads. But right now we need to activate that void. We need to pull those pages out, crumple them up, and throw them in the fire. Those pages that do not help us, all we need to do is recognize and acknowledge what's happening whilst it's happening, right? I know that when I go in late at night and I just start like window shopping on Amazon or eBay or whatever, I'm like, you're basically filling this void where you want to activate it. Why aren't you looking up things that will motivate you and you can learn things that you've been curious about, another language, so on and so forth? That's not to say that we shouldn't have free time to go and just dilly-dally and have fun and do stuff, but are we just dragging that out and replacing that healthy habit with something that just has us treading water? So let's activate this void. Is there something you've been wanting to do, a place you've wanted to visit, a skill set you've wanted to obtain, and really, really pay attention to that and activate that void and fill it with something really healthy and substantial for ourselves? Really give us that time to operate this compassion, understanding, and forgiveness for ourselves, where maybe we're not necessarily doing our utmost to take care of our mental state as well, right? Are we watching, like yesterday, oh my goodness, I shouldn't have gone on the news and seen what was happening in Massachusetts weather-wise. I live in Connecticut. We got like 6 inches, and it was so windy and so crazy, but Massachusetts had like, they had unbelievable stuff. And to watch people struggling, driving their cars and drifting and all that, it gave me angst and it gave me fear. And I'm like, why are you watching this? If you're not there and you can't help in any regard, why are you taking this on? So that sort of thing. Don't look at tragic havoc everywhere in the world. I read this thing that made me laugh. I just need a sip of water. And it was, you cultivate the flower in you and I transform the garbage in me. And I thought it was literally the best thing ever. And it is true, right? Sometimes we just have these garbage, like, things that we do that just, like, I'll give you an example. For me personally, it's like when I'm watching a really juicy show or a fun show, I always think, oh, this will be enhanced by sugar or salty food or whatever. And I'll literally just be eating this stuff till I feel like, and like my mouth will taste the synthetic whatever cheese or garbage or whatever's on that, and I'll be like, oh my god, I'm like a garbage can. So I just love that, because it's the same thing. We cultivate the flower within us and we let go of the garbage and we transform it. That is activating the void. We see the beauty and where we can enhance things, and also where we can let things go. Moonstone, I love this because I actually have these necklaces in moonstone. Oh, sorry, opalite, which is like similar. I like the pearlescence and the clear stone. I feel like it is an enlightenment stone. It is a clarifying stone, and it's really, really beautiful. I call these the vampire blood resin. It's garnet resin, these particular ones, because if you have a whole garnet, you're not going to have the translucency. So it's ground up and then put in the resin, and it just they glow. They're really, really beautiful. So I love those. So ebb and flow. We are going to have these days where things just seem beautiful and substantial and bright and frisky and fun, and we really just are like, wow, everything is unique and bright. It's almost like, just say after a time where you weren't feeling well and you were confined to the house, and then you finally get out and you go for a walk, everything smells better and richer and fresher and dynamic, and everything looks brighter, and it's so beautiful, right? And that is that absolute present moment awareness that whenever we want, we can be in that flow state and see the beauty in whatever is around us. Just doing needlepoint, reading a beautiful book, slowing it all down and having present moment awareness, like, wow, I'm so happy to have this book to read. I am so happy. Like, I just finished watching Station 11, and I love that so much because people's lives were utterly transformed in one simple book, and the premise of I am you, you are me, and how they run into each other over and over and over, and how we're all destined to meet and help and transform our lives. And it was just such a great show, and that's the magic in it. A premise that sticks with us, that helps us see us through rough times, that brings us back to flow state. And things are meant to ebb and flow. We are meant to feel abundant, and then sometimes it's it's kind of like feast and fallow, right? Fertile and fallow. Sometimes we feel super abundant and we're just, yay, we have abundant energy, we have abundant finances, we have all this. And when we feel that, really have a sense of awe for that, because aren't we lucky that we can go out and choose food at a grocery store, that we have a vehicle and we can actually put gasoline in it, that we have a choice. We live in a society where we can choose where we live. It is not allocated by the government, that we can say what we're thinking and feeling, that YouTube exists, all of these type of things. But really look inward and say, where do I need to allow more flow into my life? That sort of energy. And, fundamentally make these core adjustments where you forgive yourself for things that are just like minor transgressions that you might beat yourself up for. Like in the past, if you said or did something that wasn't like your true north, let it all go, because what really matters is the now, because the now is going to shape what you do in the near future and the far future. If you feel good about your life and you want to enhance it and go and have growth in it, you're going to do things that allow for that, right? But if you're so busy in your head, like I shouldn't have said that or did that, or having fear, attachment to everything, it shrinks that lens on our possibility. And this is where we want to open and have growth. This is where we want to activate the void with healthy intentions. This is where we want to envision the future of us being successful, abundant, loved, cheerful, and excited about our life. So my gorgeous girls and guys and people out there, I want to thank you so much. I feel really kind of like different and invigorated today, invigorated at the prospect. This happens sometimes not only after storms, but at the beginning, transitioning into a new month. And this new moon, I do really feel like it is more than possible for us to let us just let all that dead wood fall away. Loss, regret, fear, whatever it is, let it go. Let's start thinking towards spring and growth and what we want to accomplish step by step, slowly. We're not racing for the finish line. Really, really activating that void that says, we're going to look for the light. We're going to look for the presence of our guides that help and guide us to these infinite possibilities that are always available to us. We sometimes just put on those blinders and we forget that they're there, but they are certainly there. So you guys, love and light.